Welcome to Trailer Talk, a new segment on cinematic doctrine, where we plan to talk about a couple trailers that came out in the respective month. Each of these episodes will come out at the end of each month so that they don't clog up your news feed. And also, we talk about the ones that we found the most interesting or just wanted to talk about to kill some time. We'll also talk about some of the juicy information behind the scenes of each movie, as long as we, learn about it. I'm the main host, Melvin. I'm the creator of Cinematic Doctrine, and I've seen far too many movies. And I am way too opinionated, and with me is Daniel.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm one of the people who post Joker memes on the Facebook page.
We're really excited to introduce this new segment on Cinematic Doctrine, and if you want to keep posted on everything that we're doing, be sure to head on over to Cinematic Doctrine's website for everything we have to offer, from reviews, guest appearances, news discussion, and don't be afraid to get connected to our social media. All available in the show notes.
And if you want to hear more of my horrible, terrible opinions, follow me at TomRonda1 on Twitter. That's Tom Ronda with an H after the R.
And if you love our show, feel free to support us on Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you can influence the show and vote on a movie I review at the end of each month. Anyways, let's get started. We have to talk about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker's official trailer. Now, confession, I didn't watch it because I try to go to these movies blind. However, there are plenty of thoughts I have about Star Wars right now, plenty of expectations that I think will happen in the next Star Wars. And I figure while we won't be, at least I won't be contributing to what took place and what I think is going to happen, I can say what I've speculated. And Daniel, if you saw the trailer, you can confirm or deny whether they were true, or maybe you didn't see it either. I don't know.
Typically, I also try to avoid trailers because I like to go things as fresh as possible. But in this case, I actually specifically watched this trailer because I figured we'd talk about it. So you're welcome, Melvin.
Thank you.
I also have some thoughts about this, but I should say up front that I fundamentally hate talking about Star Wars because it seems that there's no one that hates Star Wars more than people that really love Star Wars. All of the conversation around it is always so horrifically toxic that if I spend too much time talking about it, it zaps my joy for Star Wars, which is really sad because I think at the end of the day, Star Wars is supposed to be this thing that's whimsical and fun and not supposed to make a ton of sense, which makes the whole nitpicky cinema sin style of looking at it just so bad, in my opinion.
No, you make a great point because I actually really love Star Wars myself. I have plenty of books. I remember watching a lot of Clone Wars, although I've never finished it, and I know that's definitely a problem because it gets really good, I've heard, towards the end.
Yeah, same.
And I've always just been a big fan of Star Wars, the old original trilogy. I remember being a kid and really liking the prequels. I remember growing up and learning that the prequels aren't good. But you kind of just live with that.
What a shame.
Yeah, right? What a shame. What a shame that sand is so coarse and rough. Right? And so... yeah, I agree that whenever I talk about it, especially lately, it has been pretty negative. Sometimes I even forget Star Wars exists now because the movies too, like Solo was just very forgettable. I just don't remember parts of it. I remember thinking, I really can't see anything. Is something wrong with the projector? Oh, wait, that's the movie. It's just really dark. I remember turning around and looking at the projector to see if was there something wrong with it. Anyways, this isn't a review for Solo. But it's just, so I guess then, how about this? I haven't seen the trailer, but I have expectations of what might be in it. Daniel, does this trailer make it look like this film will have time travel in it?
That is a great question. I don't know. The trailer is mostly made up of moments that I think we're supposed to just, if we're sitting in a theater, just get out of our seat and start clapping and cheering. It's just all of those kind of big pop money shot type, oh man, here's someone you remember. There's that shot that's been in all the trailers of Rey hugging Princess Leia. To get into something that I find gives me pause about the whole thing is I have this strong love-hate relationship with J.J. Abrams, where he's a wonderful writer, first chapters, and then by design doesn't know how to end his own stories. And so the trailer seems built to just generate tons of clickbait articles of what does this mean? Who is this? There's a lot of Palpatine in the trailer. There's a lot of just big moments, you see Rey and Kylo Ren fighting together. There's one shot where you can see Chewie's clothes on a shelf behind everyone. It's really quick. It's just stuff like that. Like there's no substantial plot detail stuff, but it's all stuff that I'm sure will generate a lot of discussion. But I'm sure it'll be aimless discussion. It doesn't really go anywhere because they didn't know how to end it. And that's not me assuming things. That's J.J. Abrams' own sort of admission where like he did the first movie and he handed it off somebody and it was kind of like, well, I hope they know what they're doing. This movie famously initially was supposed to be directed by Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic Park.
I remember that.
So the story, and you can't see me, but I'm making air quotes with my hands, is that he just kept not delivering a script that Kathleen Kennedy liked, which I'm sure is a possibility. But I also think that the horrifically negative response to the Book of Henry probably played a part in it.
Yeah, not only Book of Henry, but you also have Jurassic World 2, which like is accidentally funny, and that's not really a positive.
Especially with a big franchise that's supposed to be generating tons of money like Jurassic Park. It's not supposed to be the like something everyone's riffing on, but the movie has suddenly changed hands to back to J.J. Abrams, who is, like I've said, notorious for not knowing how to finish things. So yeah, I'm sure this won't end as great as it's supposed to. But I'm sort of becoming a hypocrite because I just said I don't like how cynical everyone is about Star Wars, and I'm just saying all these horribly negative things about Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, that's how it always goes, especially lately. I mean, it's a cynical and depressing thing. You're talking about knowing how to end it and stuff like that, and trailer not really containing many story beats. We won't really get into this news with this episode, but there's a lot of rumors, total speculation, but coming from people who have basically made rumors and speculations that came true. So insiders, so to speak,
Okay.
that like they really are still trying to figure out the final cut of the movie. In other words, it hasn't gone gold yet. And usually films are kind of done within 3 months, maybe even 4 or 5 months of the release date. Because it's sort of like albums. The company that's distributing it figures out, I'm talking albums from like big companies, by the way, where when they distribute it, they're trying to line it up perfectly and have it come out at the right time. That's why some movies, you'll see a trailer for it in like basically this month, October, and it'll say December is when it's coming out, but then it doesn't come out until like July because the distributor realized actually it's probably better to release later. So yeah, it's a fascinating thing, and to think that the trailer doesn't contain much is quite interesting. Anyways, Rise of Skywalker, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and plenty of other people that I can't list here because we need to move on. Comes out the 20th of December. We also have another movie coming out the 20th of December, Bombshell.
This one looks good in the way that good movies look good, where it didn't get me excited, and I'm probably not going to see it if I'm being honest. But if I'm on a plane and it's one of the movies selected and I've seen the other ones, I'll watch it.
Tagline for the poster, Bombshell. I'll watch it if I'm on a plane.
Good, but not in a way that would compel you to see it. It's just, you know, all those movies that usually star Mark Wahlberg and they're about some true event that happened, like an oil tanker capsizing or something, or like Everest. And you're like, okay. And like your uncle talks to you about it later, like at Thanksgiving or something. Like that's kind of what this is, where like my dad will text me and ask me if I saw that Fox News movie. I don't know. I'm repeating myself.
So yeah, anybody who doesn't know, Bombshell's basically, it seems like a film about a lot of the scandals that recently happened with Fox News regarding inappropriate treatment of women. It's going to feature Margot Robbie, Charlize Theron, and Nicole Kidman, who all look exactly like their in real life counterparts.
It's so creepy and amazing.
It's like I'm not getting the uncanny valley effect of like Battle Angel Alita because it's all prosthetics as opposed to digital. But it's creepy because they look so much exactly like their real life counterparts. But I actually might catch this myself. I like Margot Robbie. I think she's a really great actor. I don't much care for Charlize Theron and Nicole Kidman. I think they're great actors, but they're not like my preference of like going out to catch them. I think, what is it? Charlize Theron had Tully last year. I didn't even see that at all.
I love Charlize Theron.
Well, then maybe we need to catch this movie. We need to talk about it. I don't know. But it's coming out the same day as Rise of Skywalker, so nobody's going to see Bombshell.
Can I clarify why I love Charlize Theron?
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't just have this weird out of context.
I love Charlize Theron. Yeah.
I just really love that she is like a conventionally beautiful like actor, but she tends to pick roles that require her to just be insane and scary. Like she did Monster, like Mad Max. She was like the villain in Prometheus. Like she doesn't play into her physical attractiveness. She goes out for these roles where she literally tore her vocal cords screaming in a movie. Like I don't know. I just think that's very interesting. I feel like Hollywood she's trying to do, at least for a while, cast her as like blonde bombshell type actress when she's really a better fit for things that play more to her strengths of just being like subtly terrifying, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it's the idea of like It's why I like Nicolas Cage as an actor. Is because
Okay.
he's very director dependent. I think he
Yes.
needs a
Okay. I
good
see what you're
director
saying.
to control him and like get him focused, as opposed to independent, like someone like Jake Gyllenhaal, where like no matter what movie he's in, he's going to do fine.
Right.
But Nicolas Cage isn't afraid to act. He isn't afraid to get into a character and do something. So I guess maybe I should just watch more Charlize Theron films and figure it out. But yeah, Bombshell, same day as Rise of Skywalker. You're probably not going to see it, but I will. And maybe I'll review it instead of Rise of Skywalker, to the dismay of all my listeners. So we have, after that, in January, January 17th, Dolittle with Robert Downey Jr. Uh, this trailer was very dumb. I thought it was
I
really
have
dumb.
so much to say about this, Melvin. I have so much to say about Dolittle.
Anybody who doesn't know Dolittle, he talks to animals. And at least in this film, it seems like it's going to be post like Doolittle's wife going missing or dying. So he's now like a recluse, and it's probably going to be like he's coming out and caring about people because people hurt me and I like animals. And look, I like animals and
Right.
people have hurt me, but
We all love animals.
but I can't talk to animals. I like to think I can talk to my cat Milo, but you can only say so much before he just meows at you and like marks up your couch. You're like, okay, buddy, you got to start paying rent. But yeah, what did you think of this? It sounds like you had a lot of thoughts for this one.
Oh man. I have been weirdly following the production of this movie because the very idea is one of those ideas that you can see exactly why a Hollywood producer would say, this is a great idea. And then people who would have to watch this movie would say, this is a terrible idea. Robert Downey Jr. is a hot actor. He's Iron Man. And you're trying to reboot a franchise. Obviously, like Robert Downey Jr., why wouldn't you cast him? He's whimsical, great for like a family comedy. And then the news started coming out where the movie was initially supposed to come out on April 12th, 2019. And then it just all of a sudden got pushed back 9 months,
Oh wow,
just out of the blue.
that's like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes. If like they suddenly had to redesign Robert Downey Jr. because his design was like scaring people, it's exactly like that. So they brought in a new director and writer to do the reshoots.
Oh,
And they did 21 days of what are reportedly extensive reshoots, which is all like red flags. Like, okay, this is going to be a disaster. Someone on Reddit just like posted all these behind the scenes, like juicy gossip about the production of the movie. I'm not going to read it. It's fairly horrible and very profanity laced, but there's these two stories at play. What the production has stated is that the director, a guy by the name of Stephen Gagan, I'm sure that's wrong, but he's directed Syriana. He wrote the movie Traffic, like a lot of prestige drama. And he just didn't know how to direct a movie with CGI animals goofing around with Robert Downey Jr. That's basically what they're saying. And the people in the production agree with that sentiment, but it's more in the way of like the director was difficult to work with. He just doesn't understand how CGI works. Like apparently he would say like, don't include this animal in this scene. And then later when watching back the footage, he'd be like, why aren't the animals in the scene? And he'd be like, you told us not to do that. And so it was like back and forth. So what I'm trying to say is I can't wait for this to come out. I'm sure I won't like it. I mean, I took notes on the trailer and they're all pretty much just, what is this? Why is this happening? There's this great early thing in the trailer where a girl goes, are you Dr. Dolittle? And then it cuts to Robert Downey Jr. like putting on the outfit. Like he's this mythical character that we're also supposed to be like, oh my gosh, it's Dr. Dolittle. I can't wait. It's gonna be a disaster. They spent 175 million.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably higher than that.
Yeah, with reshoots and like, oh my goodness.
It's gonna be a $200 million bomb. It's coming out in Is it coming out in January?
Yeah, I mean, January is
the dumping month.
The dumping month of like, we don't know what to do with this movie. Drop it in January, and you're like, oh crap! Like that's what makes like what was it? This year was Escape Room, and that was it. Nothing else came. Oh, Glass. I think Glass was the end. It fits too. I mean, you just got all these movies.
I could see Glass being a movie where they're like, we're not sure if this will do well. This is a movie where they're like, oh, please, dear Lord, please let these reshoots save the movie. Also, I have to mention, Antonio Banderas is playing what appears to be a Middle Eastern character. Oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it. So that's Dolittle.
It is going to be an interesting movie. I saw the poster, and that gorilla had a PS2 looking teeth, and I was like, that's some weird graphics for a poster. I mean, it's a poster. You could have just made it look better. It's just
They could have just gotten a picture of a real gorilla.
Yeah, you could have. Oh my goodness. It's sort of like that one poster for Rise of Skywalker had the toy of Palpatine. It wasn't like actually it was just one of the graphics they used for the toys.
That's amazing.
Oh man, what a life we live. So
that's Disney.
It is
Disney can do anything.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We just rehash and we use nostalgia. Even the toys you didn't buy. So yeah, if Doolittle's no good, catch Bombshell instead. Hopefully Bombshell's good because you won't see it because Star Wars is coming out. So here's this one, The Turning, featuring Finn Wolfhard and Mackenzie Davis. Finn Wolfhard, everybody knows from Stranger Things, and Mackenzie Davis, you might recognize from Blade Runner 2049. But yeah, she's in the new Terminator, which I heard was fairly good, but Terminator's a weird franchise that I've just sort of like, I've always had the mindset of like, why did this become a franchise? It's just really strange.
I have not seen a franchise release so many movies that aren't canon.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Like it just producing movies like Terminator 3, like Terminator in the Future. That's not what that was called, but the one with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And then Terminator Genesis. There's a TV show. And now this one is, I guess, a sequel to the second one.
Yeah, I think I heard the best of the media was like Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then the Sarah Connor Chronicles were supposed to be the best ones. But yeah, that has nothing to do with The Turning. But that kind of puts into perspective what we think about this movie coming out on January 24th. So, you know, the next weekend after Dolittle. I don't think it'll do well. I didn't think the trailer was very good. The Turning seems to be, the whole premise of The Turning seems to be Mackenzie Davis plays a nanny who's coming into this rich family, and it doesn't look like they have parents. In Wolford seems like a creepy kid, and there's like a daughter, and the whole thing is like there's some sort of like spirit living in the house. I'm going to lock my thoughts saying that this movie is about an old nanny that used to live there, and maybe one of the kids killed them. I'm calling it right now. I'll go see it, and I'll let you guys know. Because that's the kind of person I am. And January, I am always starved for movies, so I just try to see whatever I can.
Can I blow your mind about The Turning real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
First off, I also think the trailer looks terrible. Also, horror movie trailers have this horrible habit of giving away what should be plot twists. Because it's clear the movie's supposed to be like, oh man, what's in the house? And then there's just footage of the ghouls in the trailer.
I thought about I saw the teaser trailer for Antlers, which we're not really talking about now, but briefly, like I thought it was a great trailer, but like it showed a creature in it, and I don't remember what it looked like, thankfully, because I saw that trailer like 3 months ago. I don't remember what movie I saw it for. And then the official trailer I think dropped this month. So I guess technically I could have talked about it, but I saw the teaser months ago. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch it because it's just going to spoil whatever the creature looks like in Antlers. And it's co-produced, I think, by Guillermo del Toro,
yes,
who just has a good vision for like good stories. Like even scary stories to tell in the dark isn't great, but he just he knows how to push films in the right direction. But we're talking about The Turning here, which was not a good trailer. But go ahead.
The Turning. First off, it's an adaptation of a Henry James novella called The Turn of the Screw, which has multiple adaptations. There is an episode of 1959, what's it called? Anthology show with Ingrid Bergman playing lead actress.
Oh my gosh.
But this movie is a passion project of Steven Spielberg.
That's right. I remember. Right now I'm like moving my hands because I was like, I can't believe I forgot about that. It was like something he wanted to make ever since he did Poltergeist. I think it was like he there's supposedly he like ghost wrote, which is funny to describe that way, but he like ghost wrote and ghost directed Poltergeist, and ever since he's been like, I want to do another horror movie. Mm-hmm. But all I'm good for is blockbusters and sci-fi.
That's part of what I like about Steven Spielberg and like Guillermo del Toro, actually, where they're these amazingly talented filmmakers who at their heart just love weird nerd things. This movie initially was supposed to be shot like, I think in 2017, and then 5 weeks before they actually started shooting, they just pulled the plug on the entire project, fired the director, got rid of all the writers, the entire cast, and then just started over. And now it's coming out like 2 years later with a woman who, her name's Floria Sigismondi. I'm saying that wrong, but she directed 2 of my favorite Marilyn Manson music videos. So there's that.
Yeah, we got 4 more to get through, guys. We can do this. I mean, hey, if we do trailers for 20 minutes and then we do news for like 40, that's not bad. But
maybe we should do 2 podcasts like that. I'm half serious.
I was actually just thinking. Like splitting it, but I also know podcasts are long form media.
People will listen to a 5-hour podcast from like a podcast that has, what's the word I'm looking for? Reputation. Like when I send this to people, well, I'll be like, oh man, I was on a podcast for the first time. Please check it out. And they see it's like 4 hours. And they're like, I don't love Dan that much.
That's right. Oh man. That's when you take them on a road trip and you put it on. You're just like, wow, you really love the sound of your own voice. It's like, well, if it gets you to listen to it.
At the Bible college I went to, I walked into someone's dorm room and they were listening to rap music. And then I was like, who is this? And he was like, it's me. And he was just listening to his own rap music. Like, not to be like, oh, how can I improve this? He was just playing Smash Brothers and listening to himself rap.
That's amazing. That's like, I don't know if you saw this maybe a year or 2 ago. I think it was like 2 or 3. And it was a strange thing that got popular on Reddit where some guy like said he had quotes of himself and he was like contributing them to like it was just a subreddit specifically about quotes you love from people, like other people. And he's like, I'm going to submit my own. And it was like, oh my gosh, dude, like shrink your head a little. It's just amazing.
Were they good?
I don't think so. I think they were basically like, it's sort of like the whole like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott thing where like, yeah, I think you just repurposed that one.
Professional
just like,
quote maker.
Yeah. Oh man.
We laugh at that, but what if Albert Einstein. What if Albert Einstein came back from the dead and was just submitting to that subreddit? Like, these are good. I've seen the posters in people's dorm rooms. These are good quotes.
That's like Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's just like tone deaf to like, please just stop. You're not getting it. BB-8 actually wouldn't roll like that on the sand. If he's spherical like that and he had no grip, he would just, and then like, what was it? Someone on production was like, no, it was a real robot and he actually worked on the sand. Come on, dude.
So, like, I just watched the movie Casper and I don't know how to break it to these guys, but ghosts aren't real. Like, what are you guys doing? And if they were, they wouldn't become boys again.
They would be genderless if they're just a floating spectral thing. You're like, come on, man. Just live a little. Have some creativity. Oh, man. Okay, Birds of Prey, Margot Robbie, comes out on February 7th. Trailer looked a lot like they were trying to imitate the Joker trailer, where they had like their nostalgia music playing, and they're trying to make it seem like it's going to be a formative experience of transition and growth and character drama.
I mean, to be fair, that's like every trailer now.
It is. And like you have the nostalgia piano, which I just get so sick of. It's either nostalgia piano, like was it Jurassic World 1 was the nostalgic piano?
Yeah.
Or it's the like gung 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 doo gung gung doo doo, and you're like, okay, I don't want to drop my popcorn. It's shaking. It's like you're already tired by the time the movie started. It's like you can't help but take an ibuprofen or 2 and wash it down with like a shot of Everclear, but to make sure you're numb enough by the time the trailers come on.
That seems very personal, Melvin.
Just I haven't done that, but it's just
we've all been there, Melvin. We've all been there.
Whatever makes it work, right? So it's just a miserable experience seeing trailers like this. And this came out October 1st, so we had to mention it. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't There's no information to really be extrapolated from this trailer other
Yeah.
than I feel like they saw the success of the Joker trailer and imitated it. And they're this is all this big reboot of the DCEU, and it's separate from Joker, which we'll talk about. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
I don't remember a lot. I saw a trailer the day it came out. I'm a pretty big like Batman fan. I mean, I'm also a general comic book fan, which I feel is dumb to say because everyone in our age group is kind of a comic book fan now. But I actually specifically really like the character of Harley Quinn, which I hate saying because people who like Harley Quinn typically are, you're picturing the person in your head right now, that guy.
Yeah, Hot Topic.
Yeah, the guy that Topic with like the sweaty like Harley Quinn shirt who has like 5 figurines or whatever. But I've always actually really liked the character, so I just had to check it out. Like you said, there isn't a ton we can sort of glean from the trailer. My main thing was nobody's wearing their costumes, which I know is like the petty nerd complaint. But Ewan McGregor is playing the Black Mask, whose only defining feature is he wears a black mask, and he's not wearing it in the trailer. Huntress is in the movie and just has a crossbow. I like all these characters. I like Harley Quinn. I like Huntress. I like The Question. I like Black Canary. Pretty much the entire trailer for me was kind of flat, except the very last scene with Harley Quinn throwing dynamite out of a car. And that felt very Harley Quinn. And so I want to be excited. The DCU, there's nothing more we can say that hasn't been said a million times already. Half the people in the world hate it. They hated BVS. They hated Justice League. Some people think those movies are masterpieces, but the whole thing is just kind of a mess. And now they're trying to rehabilitate the franchise, so to speak. I want it to be good, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the only thing we can get from the trailer is that like they're getting rid of Jared Leto. Margot Robbie's broken up with Jared Leto, and
I hated his performance, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't think we saw enough of him for me to make an opinion. I feel like we didn't get to see enough of him. I know there was a lot of reshoots and scenes that were cut with him. There were a lot of trailer scenes that actually look great visually. There's like a scene in the trailer for Suicide Squad where he has like a burned, charred up like face. Not like he actually got super injured. It probably was just set, but it still looked visually quite striking. But then like he's not in the movie and he's kind of annoying, and it's really uncomfortable in a film that like when they reshot it, they tried to make it funnier. And it's weird because David Ayer's original vision seemed a lot darker and more abrasive. Yeah, it's just a bizarre thing. So I'm glad that they're kind of rebooting it, but I think they're going to have to get used to people are really going to be confused about these movies, and then at some point they'll be fine. Because let's be real, if you're a comic book fan and you read comic books, there are so many different kinds of canon.
Exactly.
And the only thing you really care about is that people just interpret the characters well. They can interpret them differently, but they just have to do it well, which is one of the saving factors of something like Joker, or even just like the Batman movies we've gotten. I think Batman is the one character that we've seen reinterpreted on film multiple times and successfully. And I think that we can see that carried over into Birds of Prey. But yeah, February 7th, Birds of Prey, Margot Robbie, Ewan McGregor, pretty cool stuff. Kind of like in this McGregor Renaissance. It's going to be great. The McGrenaissance. The Ewan McGrenaissance.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was good. So we have Bloodshot with Vin Diesel coming out February 21st. Looks kind of neat. It doesn't look great. It seems like the sort of thing you just go see to fill time and like take a friend and then go home, and you wouldn't really talk about it. You'd just kind of be like, that's a movie I watched. I think the premise is like the premise makes me think of Deus Ex Human Revolution, where it's basically Vin Diesel dies, but then comes back and he's like a super soldier. But then the trailer kind of gives away more that I don't really want to say, because I think that's like
the plot.
Yeah, I'm getting like, we've already mentioned Terminator Genesis briefly, but like that trailer, if that trailer didn't spoil the film so heavily, I think Genesis probably would have been taken better. And this is a film where I think they showed too much. So just take it this way. Bloodshot is literally Vin Diesel can't die and he's a super soldier, and that's kind of cool. So I don't know.
It looks a lot like the movie Universal Soldier. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't, no.
Basically, it's about soldiers who die in battle and then their bodies are reanimated to be soldiers again, which I feel like is a trope that's get used a lot in sci-fi. So this is based on a Valiant comic, and this movie, brace yourself, is supposed to launch a Valiant shared comic book movie universe, because that's what we need, is another comic book shared universe.
A collective groan heard across the entire planet.
Of progressively less known characters.
We don't need another comic book universe. Bloodshot.
Yeah.
Just be a one-off
All
movie.
this to say, I'm kind of fascinated with Vin Diesel as an actor, because he has this reputation of like a macho guy. Like he's in the Fast and Furious, he's in Triple X, but he's a giant nerd. Like he plays D&D. He used to be in breakdancing instructional videos, which you can find online. They're very, very amazing to watch. But like he has a taste for these nerdy genre pictures. He's cast as like a Dominic Toretto kind of actor, but his heart is in movies like The Last Witch Hunter or Babylon AD.
Or Riddick.
Or Riddick, which... spoilers for Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, in case you haven't seen that movie for some reason. But he has a cameo in that movie that's like 30 seconds long. He did that cameo in exchange for the rights to the Riddick character, because you wanted to keep making Riddick movies so bad. Like, I love him for that.
That's really cute.
He might be Black Bolt in Inhumans whenever they do that finally.
That's right. But yeah, fascinating movie. Bloodshot, that is. Don't watch the trailer if you're interested in it. Just know that, like, look, Vin Diesel can't die. Probably has some really cool visuals with him getting like maimed and then being rebuilt like instantly at the same time, because he's got like nano machines. Then we have Onward, the next Pixar movie, the first of supposedly a stream of non-sequels, which will be interesting. I have not watched a Pixar movie in years.
Interesting.
I just don't really have an interest in them. It's not that I don't have an interest in cartoons or animations. I actually really enjoy animated features. But Onward is Chris Pratt and Tom Holland voicing characters who are basically like dark elves in like modern times, but there's still sort of like magic, but not really. But they don't use it because they have televisions, which is sort of like techno magic, if we're being real, guys. I mean, your TV is magic. It's a tiny little chip that makes pictures move. That's pretty cool.
I mean, what's that Sir Isaac Asimov quote about like technology and magic are pretty much the same thing?
You put lines on a piece of like metal and you make my computer run. I don't know who you are and what sort of magic you know, but don't talk to me.
Did Clown Posse make a song about this?
Yeah, it's like how do magnets work? They're just amazed. It's one of my favorite lyrics that we can't say here. But yeah, Onward seems to be pretty interesting. These two brothers, their father, I guess, died or something, but then they get a letter or they find something that basically says like, do this magic spell and your dad will come back. And they're like, wait, our dad was a magician? Because again, I mean, why would you need magic if you have an iPad? So they bring him back, but they only bring half of him back, and it's just his legs.
It's wonderful.
And so it seems sort of like it almost has like an animated magical Weekend at Bernie's aesthetic, because they're sort of like trying to animate the top half of his body while the bottom half is like totally sentient. It looks pretty fun, and I think Chris Pratt and Tom Holland are great voice act. At least I know Chris Pratt has done voice acting before, and I don't know if I've seen anything with Tom Holland when he voice acted. But
Tom Holland is in that Birds in Disguise animated movie. Have you seen that trailer? Spies in Disguise.
Was that the one from like where like birds are like?
Yes, it's that one.
Okay, good.
With that amazing reveal in that first trailer.
That's right, by Alfred Hitchcock. That's right. I don't know if you had any brief takeaways for Onward.
I love the premise, like the world they've created where it's magical creatures, but they've sort of moved past magic, and now they have to go on this wacky adventure. It's like a comedic dead body movie for children, which is such a weird idea to me. It looks fresh from a studio that is constantly bogged down in sequels now. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for a new, like, fresh IP where it seems like they're kind of invigorated to tell stories. I mean, I like Toy Story 4 for the record, but Yeah, I'm excited about it, like a new thing. Am I conflating Pixar and Disney animation? Is this a Pixar movie or a Disney
I
movie?
believe it's a Pixar movie, and
Okay.
the only thing we know that's next for like a Disney animation movie is Frozen 2, which I haven't even seen the first. So like I'm just behind on these animated films.
You've never seen Frozen?
No, no, I haven't. I've seen the memes. I know the songs, some of them, but I liked the first trailer for Frozen 2. I thought it was pretty haunting. And I was like, if this is the tone of the sequel, I gotta go watch the first. I mean, what was the first trailer for Frozen 2? Is like it was like a wide shot, and I thought it was like a wide shot with like black rocks everywhere and the ocean. And I'm like, this looks real, but I think it's animated. And then like it shows
Is this
Elsa.
Winter's Bone? What is this?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was like it was amazing. And then like it's like there's something about it that I was like, oh man, I read this is maybe a franchise I need to watch. But then the second trailer dropped, and I was like, never mind. Like it looks like it's going to be just Frozen One again.
Did you see the trailer for Cars 3, that first one that came out?
Oh, yeah, we're like Lightning McQueen just dies.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, oh my gosh, like this is. Are they going to have like a new Hot Wheels toy that was just like a dead Lightning McQueen? It's just like he's all busted
It's
up and
just
broken.
action figures of a scrapyard,
Yeah.
like crushing his pieces, making license plates out of him.
That'd be amazing. That's a Cars movie I want to watch. That sounds amazing. There's just like
Cars
there's like a
4
playset, and it's
Requiem.
like the wake of like Lightning McQueen, and they like. And on his like casket are like the stickers for his lights. Oh, he's a king to the end, man.
They cremate him and turn him into oil.
That'd be amazing. Oh, I need this. Oh man, give me that movie, Pixar.
Yeah, let's send our pitch to Pixar and see if they're into it. They're gonna need content for Disney Plus.
It's like wait, what? I just like pictured like Mater. Is that like his like it's like scrapyard, and he's just like
oh my God, he has to drag his dead friend's body.
Yeah. He's like you just have like this like somber trailer, and it's like I will finish what you started.
What, he builds an exoskeleton out of Lightning McQueen's body to fight car aliens, I guess.
Oh, that sounds like the best Pixar movie in the world, and we're never going to get it.
I'll get started on the screenplay right now whenever we get done with this.
That's amazing. So we got Onward coming up, but I think this Cars 4 sequel sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's the trailer I want to see. Is that
it'll be Cars 4 Resurgence or something like that. And then our last trailer, we did it, boys.
Oh my God.
Our last trailer, Jungle Cruise, which I was like, do I really want to talk about this? This comes out. So I wrote these all down with like the number date. So it's 7/24/20, and my mind can't figure out what month 7 is. So it's the 7th month, the month of 7.
July.
July 24th is this movie. The trailer came out this month for something that's coming out almost a year later. Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt are basically are actors in a movie about another Disney ride. Maybe they're trying to expect this to be like a Pirates of the Caribbean situation. But Pirates of the Caribbean was, if it's anything as edgy as Pirates of the Caribbean is, because Pirates of the Caribbean, I think if like you watch it like without the nostalgia glasses, you'll find is actually teeters the line of offensive at times. And like, yeah, they're pirates, but you're like, oh my gosh, like can we just like slow down a little? Especially if you see some of the deleted scenes. I don't think Jungle Cruise is going to get that treatment. The premise seems to be Dwayne Johnson is literally like the pilot of a ride called Jungle Cruise, but then Emily Blunt hires him for a legitimate Jungle Cruise, which is really strange. I actually found the trailer quite funny, and chuckled. There's like a line where like he keeps making jokes about the payment goes up, and there's a joke about like if we make it there alive the same rate, but if we die, it's going to cost more. And she's like, why is it going to cost more? He's like, because now I have to carry your body. And I was like, that's actually pretty funny. And I really like Dwayne Johnson. I think he's a really funny actor. I think he's a really good actor. He has like a real range as far as comedy is concerned, as well as like when he's serious, he gets serious. But yeah, I don't know. Did you watch this? I mean, you said you did, but
I did.
What did you think of this trailer?
I watched this trailer this morning during a downtime at work. Actually, I like the idea of The Rock is like this P.T. Barnum, William Castle guy who has his cruise, but it's full of fake exciting things, like he's Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls, like
That's amazing.
ooh, like savages, and his actors shooting blow darts, but he's trying to pass it off like these are real things, and that's why his cruise is so exciting. And then gets taken on a real adventure with Emily Blunt. I mean, these are two very charismatic actors who The Rock can deliver a one-liner like no one's business. He can make corny, horrible jokes work just through sheer charisma. And Emily Blunt is an actress who's way too good, in my opinion, to be doing these very broad, like, family pictures. I think this might be an example of a pretty standard movie elevated by the people in it.
Oh, yeah.
But
definitely.
I don't know, like, on paper, Pirates of the Caribbean is also a stupid idea for a movie. Like, let's turn a pirate ride at Disney into a movie. Sounds like a bad idea in like an Entourage episode or something. And that worked, so who knows? I think it'll be pretty standard Disney family movie with really fun people in it.
Yeah, it does look fun. I hope it does well. It sort of seems like it's the sort of movie that won't do well, especially when they have trailers for it showing now. But I guess so. For instance, I saw this trailer at Maleficent when I went to see the new one, which I saw passively. I didn't really like want to see anything that I did want to see stuff that weekend, but it wasn't really that movie. But it was, my wife was away and my friend wanted to go see a movie, and I had to pick a movie where my wife didn't want to see it, because then I knew she wouldn't feel bad, like if I just went without her. And I had a good time with it. But yeah, this trailer showed up and I was like, this is funny, it's great. And then it said, yeah, July. And I'm like, I think I know why this trailer is being shown now. It's because all the people who would see Jungle Cruise saw Maleficent and won't see anything else until then.
That's true.
They won't see any other movies. And so being told now that it's coming out, great. That is my guess to solving the mystery of why you would have a trailer this early for a movie you have a date for coming out. Because there's trailers for movies, like when the Alita trailer came out last year, it was like now, and it said December, and then they pushed it back. So like they were planning to show it within 2 months, but this one's like, what are you doing?
I mean, maybe they just think there'll be a lot of buzz, like we're going to be like, oh man, I can't wait for that Jungle Cruise movie. I mean, I think it'll be fine. Like, I think it'll do fine because it's the exact type of movie that's going to do really well at the global box office, I think. Like, it's broadly entertaining. It's got a lot of special effects. It's got very marketable actors. Like The Rock, he crosses all, like, ethnic and cultural boundaries with his rockiness. So, like, I think it'll be one of those movies that no one saw, but then it made like $500 million and you just don't understand why, but it cleaned up in China and stuff.
That's actually probably possible. It probably will clean up in China. Thanks for plugging into this episode of Trailer Talk. We had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you had a good time listening to it. If you'd like to keep up with Cinematic Doctrine, check out Cinematic Doctrine's website for a lot of reviews, guest appearances, news discussion, and don't be afraid to get connected to our social media, all available in the show notes. And if you want to hear more from Dan, check out his Twitter at TomRonda1. That's an H after the R. And if you want to support the show, feel free to jump on over to Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you can influence the show and vote on a movie I review at the end of each month. Anyways, until next time, stay cool.